Now, a major community event is taking place in Lisdoonvarna this weekend, inviting locals to have their say on the future of their town. The Community Open Day will bring together residents, businesses and groups to share ideas, review progress and plan what comes next. And I spoke about it with the Lisdoonvarna Fine Gael councillor, Joe Garrihy, earlier on. Joe, good morning to you.
Good morning, Alan. How are you this morning?
Very well. Keen to find out about this Community Open Day that's going to be happening in your neck of the woods on Saturday. Can you give us a sense of what it's all about, who it's aimed at?
Yeah, well, we're talking about a very significant social enterprise in a rural context. It's Lisdoonvarna Fáilte. And just to give a little bit of historical context, over 115 years ago, the people of Lisdoonvarna took ownership of their community assets, including the iconic Spa Wells complex, through a High Court challenge when a landlord tried to take full ownership of the Spa Wells, which was the leading tourism and heritage centre in the region at the time. So the local people said, no, this is ours, this is our community, we want to own it. And in a landmark High Court case, they managed to secure community ownership of over 80 acres of land, including the Spa Wells. And fast forward to today, we're looking at our responsibility through the local community. It's quite unique in the world that we live in that a local community has such agency and a potential to impact their local community. So today, Lisdoonvarna Fáilte is a €1 million a year turnover that goes directly into the local economy. It runs facilities from the wonderful Cllr childcare centre, which employs 20 people and looks after over 100 kids, and all the way to community meals and wheels, sport, amenity, heritage, and everything that it does, it goes back into the community.
Okay.
And this is an opportunity for people to find out about it. We were looking at a review of hopefully the next 100 years of community ownership. And that's what Saturday is about. And
there's going to be a lot of presenting of feedback from the community and stakeholder survey, which I guess will touch on everything and maybe more than you mentioned just there. There'll also be a showcase of what's held in trust for the community. Can you explain what that includes?
So that goes all the way from, we've conducted a community engagement and a survey as part of this review, and we've got a huge amount of feedback. So people want to know. A lot of people are not aware of the history. They're not aware of what's owned by the community and what's, in stewardship and control of the community, and they want to become involved. They want to see opportunities to come involved. So that goes all the way from, I mentioned one of the key things that comes up all the time is the iconic Spa Wells complex that unfortunately has been closed for over 15 years, really, and really needs a massive regeneration. They want to see that brought back to life. So we want to talk to people about how their ideas around that. There's a lot of work done on that with support from Clare County Council and the Heritage Council around regeneration plans. We want to explain that to people and also look at setting up a specific Spa Wells regeneration group that focus solely on that. And across the board, then we engage with our sports and our schools and groups who use the sports fields, the park, the pavilion, the all-weather pitches. And we're looking to get more involvement from people to come on the board of Lisdoonvarna Fáilte, to come on subgroups in specific areas. We have a wonderful group of about 15 people who run the community meals. We partner, as you know, with Cllr in Newmarket and Fergus, who provide the meals, and we act as a distribution hub. There's a lot of demand for that to be expanded. And what we want are people that are really interested in specific areas. So you might be interested in heritage and the Spa Wells. You don't have to worry about the playground or the childcare centre. We're inviting people to come on board on various pillars for the various activities. And what people have said in their surveys is they want to know more. So everything, all the financials are going to be there, audited accounts, looking at the financial situation of the company. As I said, €1 million a year of turnover that goes directly into the local North Clare economy. And we're not just talking about Lisdoonvarna here, we're talking about the North Clare area. And people come to the childcare centre, people come to the sports facilities from all over North Clare. So it's not just about Lisdoonvarna, it's about the hinterland of Doolin, Kilfenora, the Scanner, Ennistimon, everybody who comes and enjoys the facilities.
And there'll also be a launch of a process to build future capacity, Joe. I mean, what does that mean for local people and groups? Does it mean building future capacity in terms of all the various facilities and amenities and services that Lisdoonvarna has to offer that you've just highlighted, or is it referring to other things?
It's specifically about, as I outlined there, the scale of what's done by the social enterprise is quite unique. That brings with it opportunities and challenges. So really Lisdoonvarna Fáilte in its review Lisdoonvarna Fáilte wants to be you. It wants to be the community. It wants to invite people in. And, if you're to look at what you do in the future, this is, it has to be based on resources that are available. And capacity, as you said there, is if you want to expand and create more childcare places, which is something we're looking at, and we have planning permission to expand, then the governance around that, to use a boring term, is really important. We're fortunate to have a lot of support from state funding through the Childcare Centre to Sports Capital to Heritage Grants. All of that has to be managed and done in a proper way with proper governance. So we'll be looking at inviting maybe people who have expertise in finance, in business development, in community development to come on board, because Lisdoonvarna Fáilte has also been a vehicle through which various town plans and the North Clare Communities Group that you've spoken to a number of, have launched from as a vehicle and an umbrella group. So we're looking to populate with people who are who are interested in it, being involved in something that's exciting and that you can have a real impact. As I said, in the world we live in today, the changing world, to be able to have a positive impact on your own doorstep is quite unique. A lot of us feel, we're helpless in the face of things that are happening internationally. But what this is an opportunity on your own doorstep to really have positive impact. And what happens going forward will be defined by how much people want to become involved and impact their own area.
Well, that Community Open Day taking place at the Pavilion Hall in Lisdoonvarna this Saturday, and the local Fine Gael councillor, Joe Garrihy. Joe, thanks very much for chatting about that with us.
Thanks a lot, Alan. Thanks a lot.